All right, guys, well, I'm back here today with part 4 of Dollar Tree body armor. If you follow the channel, you'll know that some of my most popular and fun videos to make are the Dollar Tree armor videos. We actually started off with using baking sheets, some of the decorative rocks and books to create a series of body armor that have been slowly getting better year after year after I learned what works and what doesn't. I think the last time we spent about $12, and I think I've shifted the price up to about $15 this time, but I've developed some new techniques that I think are going to work. And the last time, I think we stopped a couple of rifle rounds, but a couple went through. I'm hoping to really get this to stop a rifle this time. We will hit it with like a 9mm as a baseline. Then we're gonna jump right up to rifle cartridges and see if $15 at the Dollar Tree can actually stop a rifle round reliably. But definitely, like I say every single time, don't try this at home because you will definitely die. Let's get to building. So the first thing we're gonna do is start layering these pans with rocks. Now in the last video, what I did was I put a couple of bags of rocks and I glued them down on one pan, then another pan, and I stacked them like this. This time I'm gonna do a slightly different strategy where I pour the rocks on here. Then I'm gonna layer them out. Until the entire thing is covered. Then I'm going to stack another pan on top this way and multi-layer it so they actually secure the rocks in place so they shouldn't flop around or slide around when they get hit. And I believe this is going to help them be more consistent across the board. So I'm going to layer these up, and then I'm going to attach the two books at the back. So the rocks will act like ceramic body armor, breaking up that bullet, slowing it down. But then the books on the back are going to act like a Kevlar or a high tensile strength material to capture the fragments of the bullets so they don't just bust out the back. So this two-part design should hopefully work. Let's see if it does. So we've got it all constructed. It's pretty heavy, a little bit heavier than a steel plate, but I think this has the best chance of actually stopping a bullet. No way this could fit in a plate carrier, but I bet you it could fit easily into a backpack for backpack armor or to armor something up. But again, you don't need to do that because you're not going to try this because you'll definitely die. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let's see if this DIY body armor can actually stop a bullet. Should be interesting. First up is just a baseline. We're going to shoot it with a 9mm. This is a Star 9mm handgun I picked up from Beltway Gun and Pawn. At about 10 yards or so. I'm going to take this first shot. It better stop it because the rest of the test will be pointless if it can't. Let's go look. First shot is right here, and nothing. Not a bulge, not anything. That is great. So right off the bat, you know this can stop a 9mm. Now let's step it up to the more powerful cartridges. Next up is the 5.7 out of this DBX 5.7 from Diamondback. This is a pretty awesome little pistol. Got a monolithic pick rail at the top and a pick rail at the back to attach a stock if you SBR it, or an arm brace. I've got full reviews on this if you want to check it out on the channel. Let's see if this armor can stop a 5.7. So here's our entrance hole. You can see it's really small. And nothing, no back deformation whatsoever. Absolutely stopped it perfectly. Next up, 5.56 out of this 16-inch AR-15. The moment of truth, can it stop this round? If it does stop this, we'll take a few more shots, then switch calibers. Here we go, this is traveling fast. All right, guys, I don't know if you can see, but smoke is coming out of that hole, and we stopped it, no problem whatsoever. And I think this layer technique is working well. Now, I know a lot of guys are saying, well, this is a thick plate, but it's actually very manageable to hold on to, again, in a backpack or something. So I'm really glad it stopped at 5.56, and it feels really intact. Let's shoot it a couple more times. So I'm going to try to spread these 3 shots out. All right, this one got really close to the edge and blew out the pan. You can feel it right here. This one also blew out the pan, and this one looks like it probably slid through a couple of rocks. Hopefully the second layer or third layer caught it. We shall see. And it did. It stopped all of that. No back face deformation. I feel though the book's bulging slightly right here, but you don't see any large bulges from the impacts. This is insane. I'm gonna step it up to a 7.62 by 39. We'll see how that does. Next up, KS47. This is an AR-15 chambered in 7.62 by 39 with a 16-inch barrel from Palmetto State Armory. Let's give it a try. All right, guys, so we actually have a hit right beside each other, which is probably the worst case scenario in any armor. This is going to test a very powerful round against a multi-strike capability. Oh, and we finally, looks like, no, it's hot. We caught the bullet, or at least fragments of the bullet, and it looks like it cracked the back right here, but I don't see anything inside. So it looks like there is the bullet. There's another fragment of the bullet. No, that's a fragment of the plastic. So that's pretty interesting, but we will try to shoot it up here a little bit to see, or maybe even down here. Some of the rocks are finally sagging down, so I'll probably put a shot here and here. Next up, 4 more shots if we can get them on the plate without it falling over. All right, guys, so 3 hits at the bottom and a hit at the top, and we've blown out the side, and it looks like it stopped all of those, guys. So it stopped all of those rounds, which is awesome. It looks like the only one that actually made it through, or partially made it through with the jacket anyways right there, was that multi-hit, the one that was right beside each other. Now, at this point, the armor is no good. We've lost all of its potential, but let's open it up and see how it does. All right, guys, so I'm already seeing pieces of the jacket that we're catching that fell out the bottom. I'm gonna try to collect this stuff as well as open this up to diagnose exactly what happened. This should be pretty interesting. I'm really excited to see. So you can see, now this is more of the back layer right here where the book's held in some of those rocks, and that's what we lost most of. And I'll try to get this book off. So it looks like the multi-strike, let's see where it went through. So it actually went through right here at the seam. So not only did we have a problem, oh, there's a piece of sharp jacket there. Not only did we have a multi-strike, it looks like the weak point was at the seam where those 2 hit side by side, which makes total sense why that actually made it through. Maybe in later editions, I may overlap the book somehow in the seam, but that is a pretty interesting note. It also looks like the book ended up really stopping some of the 7.62 by 39 right here and capturing it. There, we got the bullet right here. So the books did a good job at the end with that high tensile strength of actually stopping those rounds. That is pretty awesome. Looks like, yeah, this book actually just stopped them up front right here, as you can see there. I'm gonna try to, again, collect everything. Again, even though this may look like it's really successful, and it's been the most successful armor I've ever made or we've ever made on the channel, don't try this at home. Again, you'll definitely get hurt. So here, ooh, sharp things in there. There's a bullet. I'm gonna try to dig and find some more without cutting up my hands. Then we'll come back in a second. So I thought this was really interesting. This is actually the second pan after the first batch of rocks. And this guy is weaseled in there. It looks like a 5.56 cartridge, or it could be the 5.7, but I honestly think this is a little bit too big for that. But you can see how that pan caught it after it busted through these rocks. All right, guys, so we found a ton of the jacket, parts of the bullets. We couldn't really find the 9mm unless it completely disintegrated. This actually looks like the back of the 9mm, and it ripped out the core. I mean, this absolutely shredded the bullets, and that's what the rocks do. They impact the rocks, they fragment up the bullets, then they kind of capture it after layer, then finally the books. It looks like, honestly, the most weakest part of the design was the seam in between the books. It did stop the first round, but after a second round right beside it, it couldn't stop 2 back to back at the seam. But again, I'm really impressed at how well this actually did. but definitely don't try this at home. And if you guys want to see any more DIY body armor videos or have any ideas, again, December is definitely the month of fun videos. I'm going to try to roll that over into January as well, where we do more exciting and fun videos like this combined with the reviews and deal alerts. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.